Hello all and welcome to today's video. My name is John McFall and I want to welcome you to the McFallRI channel where I teach you how to make $25 to $30 an hour doing food delivery, and I also teach you how to make semi-passive income. In today's video, I am going to give you a beginner guide to multi-apping. I want to talk to you about if you are new to the platforms or if you are new to multi-apping. I want to give you a basic foundation that you should follow when you're out there doing food delivery to make sure that you're getting the most out of the time that you're out there. I work on DoorDash, Uber Eats, and GrubHub when I am in Fort Wayne, Indiana, and I am a multi-apper. I run all three apps most of the time unless it is very busy. I always have all three apps so I can make the most money when I'm out there. So today I want to break down to you how you multi-app the right way to make the most money when you're out there. Before I get into the topic, I do want to remind you that down in my description I have some great tools for you. The first one I want to talk about is my metric spreadsheet, and I'm going to throw it up here on the screen real quick so you guys can take a quick look at it. If you look on the left-hand side, you're going to see I always put my start time and my end time. This gives me the total time that I've worked. I also put in the miles, and then if you look to the right, you'll see for each individual app, I put the dollars that I've made, the time that I work, along with the number of deliveries. Then head to the bottom and you'll see that it calculates out what your average dollar per hour, dollar per mile, along with your average per delivery. To make the most money when you're out here doing food delivery, you have got to know what your numbers are so you can see where you need to improve. So if you want to do that, head down into my description and go grab a copy of that spreadsheet for yourself. And with that, let's get into the topic. So the first thing I want to talk about when it comes to multi-apping is you have got to understand each individual app. What do I mean by this? You have got to take each individual app and you have got to go into your marketplace on each app and figure out how well that app does in your marketplace. When I'm in Auburn, Indiana, I can only use DoorDash and Uber Eats because GrubHub is not up there. I also know that with Uber Eats, it is very sporadic in that marketplace. In other words, there are whole shifts that I go out there sometimes and I do not get an order on Uber Eats. There are other times that Uber Eats will send me some regular orders, but most of the time I know that Uber Eats is not going to produce much up there for me. So the only one that I have up there is DoorDash, so I focus on that app specifically. On the flip side of this, when I am down in Fort Wayne, Indiana, and Auburn is a population of 15,000 people, Fort Wayne is a population of 265,000 people. And when I go down into Auburn, I know that I can turn on DoorDash, Uber Eats, and GrubHub, and I will find the orders that I'm looking for to make the most money. The reason I know how they work in my marketplace is because I have really taken the time and really focused on each individual app to see what it will do in my marketplace. So my first recommendation if you want to get into multi-apping is to take each individual app and go out there different days of the week and different times of the day and learn how the apps perform in your marketplace during that days and those times. The second thing that you've really got to focus on is your actual marketplace. What I mean by this is this. When I'm in Auburn, Indiana, it is very easy for me to know where to go in that marketplace because as it has a population of 15,000 people, it is very small. Auburn sits right next to a freeway, and literally there is one main road that has about a quarter-mile strip where a majority of the restaurants are. There are a couple of restaurants that are kind of in outlying areas, but that's not where we get the most orders up there. It is from this one area, so there is literally one sweet spot in Auburn, Indiana, so by default I know exactly where to go. In Fort Wayne, Indiana, as I said, it has a population of 265,000 people. It is literally 15 miles north to south and about 20 miles east to west, so there is a huge marketplace for me. I also know that in that marketplace that on DoorDash, on Uber Eats, and GrubHub, the whole marketplace is my area. DoorDash does not segment out Fort Wayne, Indiana. It is one huge marketplace for DoorDash. So I went into my marketplace when I first started doing food delivery, and I found the areas that I could get orders on DoorDash, on Uber Eats, and GrubHub at the same places. So I defined what I call sweet spots, and these are areas in my marketplace that all three apps will send me orders when I go into them. I have 5 of them currently, and I recommend that if you are a multi-apper and you live in a larger city, that you find at least 3 or 4 of these spots. And the reason that you want to have 3 or 4 is for 2 reasons. The first reason is because some days you'll go out there and you'll get into your first sweet spot, and that area is not going to be sending you any orders. It will be sending you crap orders. So you have got to have a second one to go to check that out, and a third one, and a fourth one. So if one is not producing on a particular day, that you know that you can go to another one to get the orders that you're looking for. The second reason that you want to have multiple sweet spots is because you're going to be picking up orders in a sweet spot, and that order might take you out of that sweet spot to deliver it. I've talked about taking long distance orders in my marketplace, and the reason I take them is because they pay me very well to drive the distance that I do. And I pick those orders that are going to land me in one of my next sweet spots so that I can get more orders once I get there. So the 2 reasons that you want sweet spots is that you want multiple sweet spots is so that you have multiple areas to go into, so if one is not producing, you have another one to go to. And the second reason is when you're deciding what orders to take, you pick those orders that are going to drop you in another area that is going to get you the money that you want to make. The third and the final thing I want to bring up is when you are multi-apping, I personally take orders on more than one platform at a time when I'm out there doing food delivery, because this is how I make the most money. If you start to try to do this, I recommend that you take baby steps and don't push yourself into too much, because it will overwhelm you and you will end up having problems. When you are taking more than one order on an app or on multiple apps, you have got to really pay attention to a couple of things. The first thing that you really have to pay attention to is the time, because these apps will tell you the expected time that they want that order delivered. If you have very limited time from the place that you or point that you pick up the order to when it's supposed to be delivered, you cannot take more orders because you are going to be late to your drop off. However, if you have a lot of time available between when you pick up that order and you drop it off, and you can see that because it tells you the anticipated drop time, then you can take orders on more than one platform because you can get it done in the time that the platforms expect. So time is very, very important when it comes to multi-apping, because you do not want to deliver orders late. And when the platforms give you an anticipated drop time, they expect it to be there at that time. With that, I'm also going to say that the next most important component when you're taking orders from more than one platform at a time is you have got to understand where those orders are dropping off. If you get an order from, let's say, a single restaurant or restaurants that are right next to each other on more than one platform, that is great, because you can get in and you can grab those orders real quick, and you can make that really good money doing that. However, if one order is dropping off way over here and the other order is dropping off way over here, and let's say those orders are dropping off 7 or 8 miles apart, that is not a good idea to take on multiple platforms if they are not dropping off in the same general area. Typically what I look for when I get orders that I'm trying to do when I'm multi-apping and take orders on more than one app is I will get a restaurant. I will, pick up from one or maybe two restaurants that are sitting right next to each other, and then I will go and drop the first one, and then the next one will be just beyond that first one. In other words, I try to take orders that are either going in the same direction and I can drop off one close and then go drop the second one, or I try to drop off orders that are going to be in the same general area so that I don't ever run into issues being so far apart from one order to the next where that drop point is. And this also will affect the time that you have to be able to drop them off. So the foundation for being a good multi-apper is three things. Number one, you have got to understand how the apps work in your marketplace. Take each individual app and go out there for at least a minimum of 4 or 5 days and see how they perform over that 4 or 5 day period so that you know what you can expect to get from each of the apps. Do this with each one. The second thing you have to do is you have got to find your sweet spots. Again, these are areas that you know that all the apps will send you orders when you are out there. And the third thing is you have got to understand the time that the platforms expect the orders to be completed, and you also have to understand where the orders are dropping off. These four things are a really good foundation for you if you want to get into multi-apping so that you can be successful at it and so that you can make the most money when you're out there. If you do not follow the time and where the orders are dropping off, you're going to get late orders and you could get up to deactivation on the platforms if you are consistently late. So make sure that you keep in mind these things when you're multi-apping, and make sure that you lay that good foundation so you can get the most money and do it without burdening yourself with problems on the platforms. I want to remind you, head down into my description and go grab that metric spreadsheet for yourself so you can start keeping track of where you are. I also have some other great tools in there, which is the Beans app and SimplyWise and QuickBooks Self-Employed. Go check out my description and see if they would benefit you. I want to say I would like to ask you to subscribe to my channel and like this video. I want to leave you with, I hope that you are out there getting the money that you and your family deserve. And with that, I want to say thanks.